when you guys have thought about crossover fanfics, do you think a likely crossover would contain James Bond and The Land Before Time? No? I thought so. So I guess that makes today's fanfic rather unique in a sense. This is a James Bond and Land Before Time crossover, and the fanfic is called GoldenEye 2: Revenge of Alec and Sharptooth. So it appears this is a sequel. Well, this fanfic was the fanfic that was requested to me, not the original one. So if there is a predecessor to this, I'm sure you guys can find it in Richard Terminator's list of stories. That's the author of today's fanfic. Now, because this fanfic exceeds my word count limitations for reading it out loud, we're just going to read the first chapter. So let's not waste any time. The fanfic, as stated before, is by Richard Terminator. It's rated T, it's in English, it's adventure friendship, it's James Bond / 007 and Littlefoot, and it has 1 review. Okay. GoldenEye 2: Revenge of Alec and Sharptooth. Chapter 1. Arrival. The sun rose in the Great Valley. By the afternoon, it's sunny, and it was a beautiful day. Don't you mean it's sunny, or it was sunny, or it is sunny? They were having a good day, until they have a feeling, don't you mean feeling, that something amazing was going to happen. Little did Littlefoot and his friends knew, don't you mean know, that was going to happen to them that will change their lives and their world forever. About 30 miles outside of the Great Valley, 2 raptors were walking, and their names are James Bond and Natalia Shimonova. Well, at least they made James Bond a dinosaur in this, so I guess it does kind of make sense. Although the name James Bond doesn't ring very true when it comes to the Land Before Time universe, seeing their names tend to be very simplistic. They were on an airplane, don't you mean an airplane, bound for North Korea. Wait a minute, I thought they were supposed to be raptors. I didn't know that raptors could be in planes. Unless this is supposed to be like some alternate version of the Earth where people are dinosaurs instead of, being evolved from monkeys. So it's kind of like the Super Mario universe from that movie. They passed out on the plane by mysterious activity, then woke in this timeline. They nearly scare each other to death, but they found out who they were, then started to walk for the Great Valley. Okay, so is it supposed to be a deal that they were originally human, and then they got sucked into the Great Valley and got turned into dinosaurs? I think that's what's supposed to be going on here, but it's kind of hard to tell because the story is so all over the place and the author doesn't explain things very well. When they were getting shot at from behind, how could they be getting shot at? In the Land Before Time universe, there's no guns. Natalia, okay, and you spelled her name, never mind. Natalia says, "Who was shooting at us, James?" James says, "I don't know." As they were running, they found cover, they got their weapons out. James Bond pulled out his Walter PPK pistol as Natalia pulled out her Makarov PM pistol. Then they meet their attackers, which was a raptor with the same pistol. Oh, unless it's supposed to be a deal that the bad guys got trapped in this universe too, but why would they still have their guns? That Natalia was holding. The raptor said in a Russian accent, "Well, if it ain't British agent James Bond and Natalia, James and Natalia recognized that voice. They pointed their pistols at him and they said in shock, General Aramov. General Aramov smiled evilly and says, "In the flesh." In the scales is more appropriate. In the Great Valley, everything was calm and quiet until the gang heard some sounds that they never even heard before. Not even Chomper or Ruby could figure out what it was. Petrie gets nervous and says, "What that?" Ducky also hears the sound and says, "We have never heard that sound before. Oh, no, no, no." Ruby agrees with Ducky and says, "Me and Chomper have never heard anything like that when we came into the Great Valley." Then Chomper's here, so there's more than one Chomper now? How interesting. Here's a sound from where it is coming from and says, "It's coming from the mysterious beyond." Littlefoot says, "Let's go see what it is." Okay, let's should have an apostrophe S. Are you crazy? I'm not going. Who is saying that? And why the heck isn't the dialogue in its own separate lines or paragraphs? Why is it all jumbled in this one paragraph? Is it really that hard to use an enter key? Do I need to hold a little class for people who do not know how to use the keyboard and show you guys what the enter key does? Apparently I need to, because a lot of authors do not know how to use the damn thing. Take typing classes. Please and thank you. Littlefoot says, "Fine, stay here. Come on, guys. Let's go." Then everybody start heading for the mysterious beyond. Sarah stayed behind for a minute when she saw that they were getting far away. Then Sarah started to follow them as she said, "Hi, guys, wait for me." I guess she was the one who didn't want to go, but they didn't clarify that. "Oh, look at that, a ginormous blob of text for me to read. Ha ha ha, it's a good thing I'm only reading the first chapter of this stupid fanfic." In the mysterious beyond, Littlefoot and the gang, oh, what's with the random use of the comma there, were trying to find the source of the sound. I love how this person does not know how to use periods and keeps on using commas. Chomper was sniffing. That should end with a period, not a comma. Ruby asked, "Smell anything, Chomper?" Then Chomper got a scent. It led to where the sound was and also heard talking. Then Chomper says, okay, first of all, it should be then. And secondly, get rid of the S at the end of Chomper unless there's supposed to be more than one Chomper. I pick up a scent this way. The gang then followed Chomper until they found 3 fast biters holding weird sticks in their hands. The gang, that should end with a period, not a comma. The gang heard one of the fast biters said in Sharptooth, "How did you survive, General Aramov? I thought you were dead." Then the older fast biter said, "You thought wrong. Yes, you shot me, but I had bulletproof armor on me. But I was badly injured when the bomb went off on the armored train. Do you remember the satellite?" I know my Russian accent sucks. Shut up. James asks in surprise, "The other golden eye, and we plan to use it to destroy a valley called the Great Valley." Oh, I guess this is supposed to be the Russian guy? I don't know. It's hard to tell because this person does not clarify who's supposed to be talking. "And we have a new friend. His name is Sharptooth." Littlefoot and his friends think that the name Aramov sounds very weird and they had no idea what an armored train is, and they were shocked to hear that Sharptooth is alive and well and back for revenge on the Great Valley. Okay, we know that there's more than one Sharptooth, so why is this fanfic acting like there's only one Sharptooth? What is this, the great gonzo of this universe? Great Valley, and was also shocked to hear that this evil fast biter was going to destroy their home, while Littlefoot and the gang were thinking. Aramov smelled a scent that was a scent that smelled like food. Aramov then saw 7 little dinosaurs talking to each other. When were they talking? They weren't talking at all. Then, without warning, Aramov charged at the children. Littlefoot and the gang saw Aramov charging at them. They screamed and waited for their death to come. Oh yeah, we're just gonna scream and stand there and wait for us to die. But it never came. James and Natalia saw the kids and shot Aramov in the leg before he could kill them. Aramov fell to the ground for a minute and then ran away limping as he said, "This isn't over, Mr. Bond." When Aramov was out of sight for good, James and what? check on the kids, and James says, "Are you alright?" Littlefoot then says, "Don't you mean then?" says, "Thanks for saving us. Who are you?" James says his famous quote, "Please forgive me for doing this, but I just couldn't resist." The James Bond. James Bond. Ducky asked the other fast biter and says, "What's your name?" Natalia says, "My name is Natalia Shomova." Then Sarah got suspicious and asked, "Who was the other fast biter?" James then says, "That was Aramov. He is very dangerous. We thought he was dead, but if he is alive, then..." Oh, if he is alive? You guys know he's alive, seeing you just had a conversation with him, you freaking idiot. And it should say then. That must mean that Alec and his goons are back, and they have a new friend named Sharptooth, and this is not good, kids. Sarah asked with sarcasm, what they do, destroy the valley? James says with a serious look, "They tried to destroy the world with a weapon called Goldeneye, but we stopped them and saved the world, and now they are going to use it to destroy the Great Valley." Everybody got worried after hearing that. Not only was Sharptooth alive, but the fast biter named Aramov and his old friends are going to destroy the Great Valley. Why do they want to destroy the Great Valley exactly? And why is that ending with a comma? That should be ending with a period. Then Sarah, don't you mean then? Sarah saw the weapons and they were holding and asked, "What are those?" James and Natalia looked down and saw that they were still holding their weapons, their hands. Their hands? They have THEY'' as their version of there. So if you were to get rid of the abbreviation, it translates to holding their weapons, they are hands. Change it! Natalia says, "These are our weapons. Mine is Makarov pistol." James says, "This is my weapon, the Walter PPK pistol." Like they would know what a frickin' pistol is. Petrie then asked what they do. Then James and Natalia fire their weapons at a nearby tree, and when it was over, James says the weapons fire what we call bullets. James and Natalia showed the kids their fresh new clip for their weapons and showed them the bullets that were inside, and the gang were amazed to see them. Then Littlefoot and the gang then got an idea. They realized that James and Natalia could protect them from Sharptooth, and they decided to show James and Natalia to the residents of the Great Valley, but feared that it would only cause a problem. Then when Chomper told them about his parents, they then decided to show James and Natalia to Chomper's parents first, then the Great Valley residents. Then Chomper said to James and Natalia, "Follow us." James asked, "Where are we going?" "To my parents' nest. They are not far away from here." Okay, it says, James asked, "Where are we going?" "To my parents' nest. They are not far away from here." I'm really hoping that the person who wrote this is a child. I am really hoping that they are a child, because if they're not a child, and if this was an adult who wrote this, I have lost all hope for humanity as we speak when it comes to the English language. I really have. So let's finish this. Then James and Natalia followed both Littlefoot and Chomper to Chomper's parents, and James and Natalia hoped that it would go well. And that's the end of chapter 1. I am so glad that I don't have to read this entire fanfic, because I could barely get through the first chapter. Now, let's take a look at this person's profile. Let's see if it lists their age. No, it doesn't, unfortunately, so you can't tell. I'm hoping, Mr. Richard Terminator, that you are a child who wrote this, because if you're not a child and if you're an adult, you should really be ashamed of yourself, because that was probably maybe not the worst spelling and grammar I've ever seen, but it was pretty horrendous. I mean, seriously. Well, looks like a lot of their stories are either rated K or rated T, so I think it's safe to assume that they might be a kid. But still, this fanfic was not that great. And if you guys really want to read the rest of it, go ahead, click on the link, be my guest. I'm not stopping you, but just to let you know, you're probably going to be wasting your time, because this fanfic is just all over the place. He really is. I mean, really, really does. Okay, yeah. I'm the fanfic critic. I read it, you listen. I need a drink.